prepare for JJ when you know, I mean, you have some film of him, but you know it's a very different emotional experience for him to come back here, you know, Monday Night Lights.
Yeah, well, look, I think first and foremost, we have to prepare for the system. And then we have to, as you do every single season, when you go into an opening season game, you know, you have to prepare for the unexpected. You have to prepare for unscouted looks. We're going to see something that we haven't seen yet. And so we really got to be able to prepare for the system, and then we've got to be ready to adjust. And I think, you know, what my experience would tell me that the teams that are able to adjust the best within the game, those are the teams that usually have the most success. And so, you know, in particular with JJ, like, you know, we obviously studied him coming out. We got a chance to see him in a couple of preseason games, and yet we don't have a lot of film on him. So we'll have to be ready to adjust and see how they're trying to call the game with him.
Dennis, with Jalen not having been in camp and, you know, working to get his conditioning up, what do you need to see from him in practice this week to sign off on him being good to go?
Well, look, I mean, I think we need to see him get out and get some reps and get some practice time. I know he's been working extremely hard to get himself back. You know, ultimately that'll be a decision that gets made between you know, Ben and the training staff in terms of where he's at. I know he's itching to get back out there, and we'll see how it goes, you know, today, and we'll see how it goes throughout the rest of the week, and make a decision at the end of the week whether he's good to go or not.
I know he was really excited in the spring at the prospect of getting to finally get to shadow a receiver. How do you envision, since he hasn't been here and we haven't seen him do any of that in camp, how do you envision his role expanding with that in mind eventually when he gets?
Well, look, I mean, I think all of those things are game plan specific. You know what I mean? And so each week it could be different. You know, I think the thing for us is we know that that's a valuable tool that we have a guy that we feel like's a shutdown corner that, you know, if we feel like we need to match him up on a receiver, we have the ability to do that. And there's certainly some times that we, you know, may not do that. It's all really, you know, game plan specific.
Ben has talked a lot about the race to week one. Do you feel like you guys are at the point as a defense that you are ready for this regular season? Do you feel like there's been?
Well, look, yeah. I mean, do we still need to improve? Absolutely. You know, I don't think there's any team out there that's a finished product in week one, and so, you know, we feel good about the preparation that we've had to this point. We feel good about the work that we got in training camp, and now it's, you know, it's a great opportunity for us to go out in a Monday night game against a division opponent and go play. And so the work's never done. So regardless of outcomes, you know, we're going to continue to work to improve, and we're not going to focus too much about, you know, what the results are. We're going to focus on the process of getting better. And I think if you take care of that, I think the results end up taking care of themselves.
Jaquan Brisker told us, just kind of paraphrasing what he said, that at some point in time, you guys will knock the ball loose from McCarthy, or there'll be an interception because you guys will be going after. Is there a message that you guys give to your defenders when it is a rookie quarterback debuting in the NFL that you got a chance to get this guy?
Look, we view this is an NFL quarterback. You know, he's here for a reason, and so we respect him. We respect his talents. We respect the team that we're facing. But each and every week, that's part of what we do. Is we're hunting the football. I mean, the number one reason why you and really the only reason why you take the field on defense is to get the ball back for the offense. And so whether that's you know, forcing punts, whether that's taking the ball away, that's what our job is. And so that's kind of where our focus is.
Aaron Jones really kind of gave them a boost when he joined them last year as a running back. What do you see from him, and how important is it to contain Aaron Jones?
Well, I think he's a big part of their offense. You know, I think he's a really explosive player, and so, you know, obviously we got to do a good job of, you know, protecting the edges on the defense. You know, and we've got to do a good job of being able to get off blocks inside, and we need 11 hats to the ball. You know, I think this team that we're playing offensively, I think, is a really good offense. I got a lot of respect for Kevin O'Connell and their offensive staff and how they call a game and the schemes that they run. They did some things, in the offseason to try to help improve their team. I mean, obviously they went out and they just traded for Adam Thielen, who's a savvy veteran, wide receiver, good player for them. Hawkinson, I think, is an exceptional tight end in terms of his route running ability. I think they've got kind of a two-headed monster at the running back position with Jones and our back from 49ers, Mason. Physical, tough runner inside. And then they did some things, up front to help themselves up front, with an improved interior of the offensive line. So I got a lot of respect for what they do, and this will be a tough challenge for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Declan, from the start of camp, Ben put out the 70% bar, and Caleb's talked about it. What are some things that, ways to attack that number? And, obviously it's a good goal to get. What are how can you kind of frame that as why people attack that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like pass game efficiency is about taking what's there and obviously just working through his reads. The biggest thing on every given play, he's got a place to start, and he's going to have outlets and answers that he needs to find later in the play. And that's really how that number goes up, is when guys are playing through 1 and 2 and they're able to find 3 and 4, find the back, whatever that may be. But really, that's kind of the goal. Is it's process related. It's talking him through each of these plays and where that ball might need to go if the primary isn't open.
Declan, if Caleb is able to weaponize his cadence, like he's talked about that being something he really wants to do, how does that make defenders have to hold their water until the ball's snapped?
Yeah, on every given snap, anytime you're throwing the ball or running the ball, but specifically throwing it, we're in a race. The wideouts are in a race really with the D-line. And so anytime you can give your guys a head start or slow them down, that can be a weapon that we can utilize. Everything is so timing related in the passing game, and same thing with our get off in the run game. And so really trying to give our guys an advantage at all times, and making sure that he's consistent with that cadence. We vary it, and that's just something we work every day.
When you're a team that motions and shifts a lot, does that force defenders to have to blitz from a standing position just so they can then get a read on once the motion's stopped?
Yeah, it can. I think a lot of times with movement, as things change and pieces move, defenses have to, one, communicate, and secondly, a lot of times they have to show you or tip their hand a little bit because they don't know whether you are getting ready to snap it or you're going to move and get set, whatever that may be. But yeah, a lot of times you can get a defense a little bit off balance and make them play left-handed just by moving guys around.
This particular defense on Monday, is there more importance in getting to the line of scrimmage early in the play clock to give yourself a chance to sort of diagnose what's out there?
I think that's a really good point to make. A lot of this stuff is the chess match. This is a scheme that provides challenges. I think it's always good to have good tempo going to the line of scrimmage. The earlier we get there, the more we might be able to help the quarterback or whatever that may be. But certainly against a scheme like this that varies a lot, you want to be playing, with good tempo as an offense.
Declan, what's the biggest thing that you worked on with Caleb Williams throughout this whole process?
I think the biggest thing is just his processing ability, his thoughts as far as pre-snap and then post-snap, just really ingraining how we want him to think. That's the number one thing.
Have you seen the processing ability get better?
I have, yeah. He's gotten better, since we got here in February, and the progress he's made until now, and he's still continuing to get better every day. And I think that as we get into these game plans, you're just going to continue to see a guy who is working really hard at it continue to progress.
What's the key to processing for any quarterback when everything's happening so fast? How do you process?
The game slows down when your eyes go to the right place. So when his eyes are in the right place, that's when you hear guys talk about in year 2 and 3 and their processing ability. They're like, hey, the game slowed down for me. That's really what they're referring to. They're saying, I know where to look, where my eyes need to go, and then I know really it's the implied information. So this piece moves, and I understand what that means relative to the rest of the scheme. And so that's really what you're kind of trying to train. You're trying to train the eyes all the time.
As an extension of that, like with all the pre-snap stuff and cadence, can that change the way, like a drastic change to the way he plays football, just given what he didn't do with that in college and knowing that that's now required of him here?
Yeah, that's definitely that's why we're all here is, that's the way Ben has played. And that's what the way he designed the offense in Detroit. That's kind of, we've had elements of that as we've gotten here. And it definitely is a little bit of a change because in college he was a little bit more stagnant, a little more spread out. And that's a process that he's developing too. And it's something that we feel like as we start to master that and get better at it, it can provide a lot of challenges for defenses.
The Vikings always seem to be good against the run. What's the key to having an efficient ground game against them on Monday?
Yeah, I think that it starts with our get off and our cadence. That's the number one thing, being able to come off the ball with low pads and go after it. I don't think the fundamentals change there, and that's really going to be the same all year long. As far as the specific schematics, I'm not really going to get into all that stuff. But the biggest thing is us showing up ready to go with low pads, ready to strike and make this a fist fight.
With all the injuries you've had at running back, do you have a sense of what the depth of that position is going to look like for Monday night? Or are you still kind of seeing out some of these injuries and who's going to be ready to go?
Yeah, we still have a couple practices left here, so it's kind of a process as we go. Really, we'll see where it goes the next couple days, and then into kind of that final walkthrough.
Declan, did you overlap with JT in New Orleans?
I did, yeah.
What's
yeah.
it been like to see his kind of progress?
It's been great. I was with JT very briefly. Drew Brees actually broke his thumb in the second game of the year. We're playing at the Rams. So Drew goes down for 6 games. Teddy Bridgewater stepped in, and we signed JT to the practice squad. And so I was around JT for about 5 weeks. Seeing him as a player, he's a soft-spoken guy. I've been able to see that progress a little bit. He's a little more vocal as a coach, and I've really enjoyed working with JT. I think he's got a bright future.
Declan, how is your with your past as a tight ends coach? What have you liked about Colston's progress and being able to assert himself as a part of the offense so quickly?
Yeah, I think first and foremost is he came in very serious about learning the scheme, learning the ins and outs of everything. He's an eager guy, a guy that he's texting Dre and can I get the installs? Can I get he just wants more information. He absorbs all of it. That's the biggest thing is he's done a really good job of learning it. He's trying to do it exactly the way we're asking him to do it. And then obviously the skill set, why he's here is we really enjoyed that and watching it in college, and we've seen a lot of the same things here.
A couple weeks ago, Iceland was talking about the difference between Ben in practice and Ben on the headset during game, and he's sort of all business in that area. What have you just observed about the way Ben approaches that on game days?
I think when Ben is in between the white lines, whether that's practice or the game, the standard is upheld. That's the biggest thing. He takes it very seriously. Tyson, probably is saying that because Tyson's very similar to the way Ben is. But when Ben is in between the white lines, it's all business, and we're battling for each other, and we're going to work.
All set.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
All right, morning, everyone.
Morning.
How you all doing?
Good.
I'm outstanding. Go ahead, shoot.
Devin Duvernay, assuming he's healthy, what kind of boost can he provide to you guys in the return game this season?
Yeah, I think Duve, along with all our returners, specifically asking about Duve, but I think Duve as obviously a storied past, really good player, 2-time Pro Bowler in the past. He is fast, he's electric, but so is Luther, Burden, so are all our other options. So we got really good options there. Still going through it all. Guys still working. We're actually doing return today, so guys are still competing back there to see who goes on Monday, But he's a really good player, as you know, Biggs. He's a good player.
Is it tough to trust a guy like Burton as a rookie? Like, does that take a leap of faith?
Yeah, that's a great observation because some rookies, they get in there and get nervous. But the one thing about Luther Burden is he is as smooth as they come, man. He is confident. Nothing's too big for him. The game looks like it slows down to him all the time. He's gonna be a really good one. And I don't know how long we'll have him because I think he's gonna be a really good wideout.
We saw them on the broadcast talk about the new rule with the K-balls. this season. What does that do for you guys, for the kickers, just to be able to have that practice?
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, you got a kicker last night, obviously that can kick the crap out of the ball, and it did. We'll see. It's still new to everyone. I think it's a really good rule in terms of marrying with the quarterbacks and what they do. But different people feel different uh, about the rules, so we'll see. K-ball is still to be determined. Not a real big deal to me right now.
How much time has to pass before you sit there and go, okay, it made an impact or it didn't? Do you look at a month, half a season, a full season?
I think you got to get a full season, maybe two, to really know the difference. I mean, the same could be said for the touchback going to the 35 now. I mean, in the preseason, generally, there's a lot of returns, 70+%. And there's usually a deviation in the regular season in the past. And the reason why is preseason is for evaluation, regular season is for strategy. So, I mean, last night you saw 7 out of 9 kicks returned, which is closer to what a preseason percentage would be. And the result of that is because the touchback moves to the 35. So I think with that, the ball will probably be in play more if last night is any indication. Now we got another game tonight. You got the international game in Brazil, so we'll see. But I think that's another great observation by you and a good point, because the K-ball and the touchback going to the 35 are two new things that are going to be really interesting in the kicking game this year.
You saw a couple just skirmishes last night, some penalties. When you're a coach, what's your message to guys about how to harness the energy? Obviously, everyone's gonna be hyped up, but you want to kind of control it. What do you kind of tell your guys, especially maybe if you see what some of the stuff, the flags from last night?
Yeah, well, the main thing is we always talk to them about staying in the moment. And that is talk to them about from day one. We talk about having poise and understanding that the team is first in everything we do. And every action we want to perform to the best of our ability, but we want to always make sure we put the team first. And everything that I do, every stat that I get, every tackle that I make, every block that I do, every return that I have is for the benefit of the team. So always keeping team first and always having a poised mindset, but at the same time still ready to go out and play a violent game in between the lines.
The fact that one of them happened on the first play of a nationally televised opener, do you think you need to talk to the guys about that, or do you think they all saw it and they all know that it's nothing you can do?
Yeah, I was knee deep in Minnesota, honestly. So I didn't really see all of it. You hear about what happened or whatever, but to speak to it directly, I really don't know exactly what happened. It's something we talk about all the time. So it's not something that we need to all of a sudden address because it happened, because we talk about it all the time. We always want to play penalty free and we always want to play with poise. It's always our goal. We know it's not always going to happen, but our goal is to play penalty free and play with poise and play aggressive at the same time. And we got a huge challenge this week in Minnesota.
You've talked about how important Blackwell is on special teams. If he can't go, who is there to, just from a leadership standpoint, step into that role?
Yeah, I mean, we got several guys. I mean, that can fill that role, and we're excited about the new young guys we have, and we're excited about the guys that we had returning from last year that'll be playing on Monday. But this is a really good unit that we're going against. Got a lot of respect for Coach Daniels and what they do over there. A lot of respect for KO and how they've turned that program around in such a short time. So we got our work cut out for us. So we got a number of guys that need to be ready to step up to the challenge, and it's a great opportunity for them. Great opportunity for them.
What do you make of Miles Price, the rookie return man? How do you prep for a rookie?
Yeah, I think Miles Price is really good. He's an undrafted free agent out of Indiana, and people don't know about him, but he was number 31 in the preseason. He's changed his number now to number 4. We're well aware of him. He's got really good speed, broke some really good returns on both punt return and kickoff return. Dual returner with great vision, really good burst, good speed, a natural feel for finding lanes. So he gonna be a huge challenge for us, but we're excited for the challenge. Like that's what we live for, that's what we play for, and we coach for. So got a ton of respect for the guy, just seeing what he did there, and then also what he did in Indiana as well. He's a good player. I think he's gonna be a good one for years to come.
Coach Cairo was named a captain. Why does he deserve that?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about Cairo, he's emblematic of what guys should be in a special teams room. You know, his journey, what he went through to get to where he is now. You know, some of those guys in the special teams room, you know, you don't have a lot of first and second rounders in there a lot playing, so they can relate to his story. Though we have a couple first and second rounders playing, but you know, a lot of those guys are, you know, guys that are drafted a little bit later or free agents. So Cairo's a really good example for them. The team was fired up for him. Special teams rooms fired up for him. I mean, he's confident, he's consistent, he's clutch, he's all of those things you want a guy to be that hold that position. So we're very proud of him, and I think he's a really good representation of what we believe in our room.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.
Thanks,